Well, hey everybody, Steve here. Sort of getting ready to go to bed soon and just thinking about the state of the future of my beloved Portland Trailblazers. I love them whether they're great or whether they're bad. And you'd think being up 2-0 in a first round series at all would be exciting considering the Blazers' recent, playoff turmoil. Being up 2-0 against a team you went 0-4 against during the season without Yusef Nurkic, even more so. But I'm thinking in the future, and I'm thinking, I've kind of stayed quiet about the Blazers' financial missteps after the really great team that we were building in 2014 and 2015 splintered apart, and all of a sudden we had this money, so we decided to throw everything in the kitchen sink at Myers Leonard, only to barely ever use them. Um, I love Evan Turner. I love him as a guy. I love his energy, but he is not worth half the money we are paying him considering his overall output. He has too many games where he's just like not really effective. And then you'll have games where he goes out and gets like 15 points and 3 steals and whatever. And it's like, well, we need that every game from you. Um I'm looking at this and I'm like, the Spurs won tonight. They're up 2-1 on Denver. I'm wondering if we could take Denver in the second round. I know, whether it happens or not, I know we can beat San Antonio in a series. Um, if we get by the Blazers legitimately could make it to the Western Conference Finals this year against probably Golden State, which is probably where the line will land. We could literally, completely unexpected at the start of the season, be a Western Conference finalist in this year's playoffs, and next year we could end up being crap. And the reason for that is who knows when how long it's going to be before Yusuf Nurkic is back. He could miss pretty much the whole next season. We'll still have him. He should still hopefully recover fairly well from this injury and still be an effective player. But we've either traded away or every other player that we've added this year is a free agent, which means we could literally lose everything we added this year. We let Pat Connaughton go so we could sign Nick Stauskas, but then we traded off Nick Stauskas. I think we only signed Seth Curry 1 year, so he's a free agent. I'm pretty sure Enes Kanter and Rodney Hood, we just have till the end of the season. They become free agents. They could all be gone. I hope they realize the great situation they've fallen into, but the fact of the matter is, we can only pay so much. And Chief, one of our starters, is a free agent, and I feel like a lot of teams will want to steal him away. So we could end up losing Al-Farouq Aminu as well. We could end up losing all of them and not having Nurkic for most of the year next year and not having the finances to really bring much in. And it's so frustrating because the Blazers, as they are now, especially if Yusuf Nurkic comes back, we are one more significant player away from being a title contending team. That's just a fact. We are one more, 20 and 10 and 5 guy. We don't need a James Harden or a LeBron James to come onto our team to be a title contender. We just need that one more thing. That is literally how close the Blazers are right now. And yet by the end of the season, who knows how many of these free agents will walk. We aren't really going to be able to sign many, if any of them, and we're not really going to have the money to sign anybody in the offseason, anybody that's going to make a significant difference. So for all we know, we could find ourselves, missing the playoffs next year and being like a 35 win team because we just won't have enough. Obviously, I don't know what's going to happen. Who knows what's going to happen? It's just so frustrating to sit here and see, once again, for the Blazers, this growth, this light at the end of the tunnel. And it seems like, just like in 2009 when the Blazers were blossoming, and then it just kind of trailed off. 2014, 2015, we were one of the best teams in the league, and then it all fell apart. I feel like that's inevitably might happen again here. Now that we're finally starting to get back towards where we were when we had LaMarcus and Wesley and Robin Lopez and Batum and CJ McCollum wasn't even really playing yet because we were so good, we didn't even think he'd be a factor on our team. And now, of course, that team falling apart has given CJ the room to grow and become who he is now, but it's just frustrating to look into the future and not really know how enthusiastic to be about it. Now, that being said, let's say most of these guys walk. We'd still keep, a good chunk of the nucleus that we have. And by the end of the 2020 season, that's when finally it seems a little money is going to start opening up. So if we still have Dame and CJ and Nurkic, and then, pieces, the Mo Harkless is still, most of what we still have, and we don't tank too horribly next year, who knows? I mean, we probably won't be too horrible with still CJ and Dame and, hopefully Nurkic coming back at some point. If things go awry, considering the pieces we've added this year, 2020 may be the year that we can actually have the financial opening to pull in that significant player, that one more significant player to really make us a contender. With CJ, Dame, Nurk, all these other role players that are very significant and important, and then that one more piece. And then by 2020 we could be a title contender. But between here and now, there's so many other possibilities that could happen. It's just so frustrating to see the Blazers finish so much better than anyone thought they'd even come close to finishing. A lot of people thought we weren't even going to make the playoffs. The whole summer it was, oh my god, the Blazers got swept by New Orleans. They're shit now. Oh my god, what are they going to do? They'll be lucky to win 10 games next year. I mean, I'm exaggerating it, but that is really how people were behaving. They were acting like we had just completely fallen apart. And then here we are. We came out with practically the same team. All the pieces we let go, we replaced with cheaper facsimiles. We didn't really get anybody to replace Ed Davis, but we kind of shoved Zach Collins, I feel, most into his position as kind of the banger under the boards and the fighter coming in off the bench. But we let Shabazz Napier go because we got Seth Curry for cheaper. We let Pat Connaughton go because we got Nick Stauskas for cheaper. And then Jake started playing really good and pretty much took Nick's spot, and we shipped him off because he had pretty much fallen out of the rotation. Even though he's not a great defender, I'd love to get Ennis back. I like Rodney Hood, but he hasn't really been that effective on our team. If we lose him, I'm not gonna, cry. But I'd really like to keep Seth and Ennis. I really would. And obviously Chief. But Seth Curry, the second half of the season, has been so monumental for us. I mean, the stats speak for themselves. I still don't think we've lost a single game this year when Seth scores more than 10 points off the bench. We may have lost one late in the season, but I don't know. I can't remember any game where that's happened. So I really want to keep Chief, Seth, and Ennis. Especially going into next year not knowing when Nurkic is going to be back. Zach, Myers, these guys aren't really... They can step into a starting position, but for an 82-game schedule, that I just don't feel that's going to hold very well. So I feel like it is crucial to try to keep Ennis if we can. I don't know. I really don't know. We just don't have the money. So that's what I'm thinking about. Anyway, up 2-0 in the first round of a series, and I'm stressed as a sports fan. We'll just have to see. Catch you later.